So I'm super excited. I just received my wheels and tires from T-Sport line, and I need to install them on my Model X, but first I need to move that and get it out of here so I can actually work in here. But first, let me open up one of these to kind of see what they look like. Now that is pretty. It's already balanced, ready to go. Tire pressure sensor. It does not have black lug nuts. That sucks. T-Sport line. Where's my cap? This is probably what I'm looking for. There they are. Still no lug nuts. When you're paying that much for these rims, they should throw in some lug nuts. Make sure they look good, which they look awesome. You gotta turn the car on. You gotta put it to jack. So jack, and you should be good to jack your car. To jack your car, under here, you might have enough light. There's a plate right here that you want to jack your car on, and it's on all four sides. Somehow my microphone got unplugged, so I'm going to narrate the rest of it for you. What I'm saying here is there's a 285 and a 265. The 285 needs to go on your rear. If you put it on your front, you won't be able to steer because it's too thick. So make sure you tell the difference between the front and the rear. So on top of the lug nut, there is a little cap. It's made out of plastic, and you'll want to remove it with a screwdriver just like this. You kind of pry it off side by side. You want to be careful because it is plastic and it will break. So since Tesla does not have a tire iron, I am using a 21mm socket with an air gun. I put it on the low setting just to make sure I don't damage anything. So here in a second, you'll see the car drop just like that. Basically, I did not jack the car up before I started loosening the bolts. I thought there was going to be a tire iron, and you don't want to jack the car up to where the wheel is free spinning, because the wheel is just going to spin. After you take the rim off, you'll have access to the inside of the rim so that you can clean it. So when you put it back on the car, let's say when you're towing or you want to go on the winter, it'll be nice and clean for you. Before I put the next tire on, you have easy access to the hub and the brake calipers. So while you have it off, you might as well clean it. Get yourself some glass cleaner or a multi-purpose cleaner. Wipe them off while you have easy access. This is a good picture of the hub and the regenerative brake. You can see how nicely of a job Lux Auto Spa did with painting those two things, so that once I put the black rims on, it's going to look really nice. You're not going to have any chrome spots or unpainted stuff. So here I'm just pointing out that there is a beveled edge on the lug nut. That needs to go in towards the rim. Basically, it kind of pushes the rim out and kind of evens out the rim. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you thread these by hand first. Because if you cross thread those, you don't ever want to put a lug nut on with the impact wrench, because you have a chance of possibly stripping your hub, and that would be a bad day, because that would be a very expensive fix if you have to replace your hub. What I noticed after using the impact wrench, the spacing is pretty tight. So what I did was put a little bit of tape on the socket, and then it basically helps to prevent any scratching on your rim. I have a little bit of scratching on that rim, but the rest were fine after I put the tape on it. So on the cap that goes in the center, there's a little protectant film. You're going to want to take that off before you put it on. It's just going to look like crap if you don't. Is that when you're tightening your lug nuts, is you're going to want to go on a diagonal. So you're going to want to go to the one across from it, and then go basically around and do a star pattern when you're tightening your lug nuts. And then you're going to want to go back after you tighten it. Even though I'm doing an impact gun, you're going to want to come back after you've driven 10, 15 miles, come back and check the tightnesses of those lugs, because they can loosen when you get the weight of the car on there, movement and friction and everything. So you're going to want to make sure you come back and check those lug nuts after you're done. That concludes the physical installation of the 22-inch rims from T-Sport line. Now, if you have any questions on this, please feel free to ask. I know I missed the rest of the narration, but I thought this went together pretty clean. It took me about an hour to finish the installation, and had I known some of the things I did when I started, it probably would have gone a little faster. I really like the look of these rims. They really set the car off. Alright, so I got you a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. So I took it out of suspension. Let me turn on the car real quick. I put it on very low just to kind of see what I'm going back to standard. And driving, looks like I can't find anything. Now, my tire pressure sensor over here on the other side is not working. So I will try to figure out how to do that. You would think it would be under like vehicle, automatic doors, headlights, adaptive, mirrors, climate, or service and reset. It's not in any of those. So let me just drive and see if that clears it up. All right. So I opened up the owner's manual. Really nice to have an on-screen owner's manual. It says here, tire sensors must be replaced by a Tesla service technician who can perform a brief setup procedure. If a non-Tesla service center provides or replaces the tire sensor will not work until Tesla performs a setup procedure. So I am going to have to go into Tesla service and have them reset my tire pressure sensors. So I can probably do that today if they will accept me coming in today. So I will call them and see if that can be done. Okay, so I just started driving on the highway. I called Tesla service. I figured I'm gonna have to go in, get it reset, blah, 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 blah. Well, I was talking to him and he said they don't work on aftermarket stuff, that I'd have to call T-Line Sports. So I ended up pulling it back up on my dashboard and the sensors reset themselves. So you just have to drive probably 10, 20 miles and it will recognize your new tire pressure sensors. Good job, T-Sportline. Quick, easy install. Took me about an hour. Really simple. And I wanted to, so I'm driving 75 miles an hour. It's a little bit of a windy day. It's 55 degrees outside. And currently I'm averaging, for the last 5 miles, about 394 watt hours per mile at 75 miles an hour with the new tires and rims. So that might be different with factory rims. These rims are supposed to be 25% lighter than the stock 22-inch rims from Tesla, and I believe 16% lighter than the 20-inch rims from Tesla. So if anything, I think based on the rims, this will be a little bit less because they are lighter weight. I can't guarantee you that I'm on a flat surface right now, but you're about 400 to 410 watt hours per mile to answer your question. I don't have your name, but gentleman or lady asked what was my average watt hours per mile at 75 miles an hour, and like I told them, it really depends on a lot of factors. It's really windy out, so we're running about, it's just gone down, so my average is 415 currently. So I think you could probably get a bit less. I also turned off the climate and all of my seat heaters to see where I would sit. Flip that back to 30. And yeah, for the last 5 miles, averaging about 4 to 420 watt hours per mile, just so you know. But thank you, T-Sportline. Tires and rims are awesome. Listening to the noise, I put the Continental tires on them. It is about the same road noise as the, I think, factory Continentals that were on there. So I don't really notice any sound difference or harsher ride as of yet. But they are thinner tires, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful going in and out of and hitting potholes, because I don't want to damage my rims. As you can see, it's a very windy day, and is definitely affecting my watt hours per mile. I will try to get you on the way back and let you know what I'm averaging on the way back.